Unit 6.4, dividing a polynomial by a monomial, right? So it tends to be two terms divided by one term, right? Or three terms divided by one term, right? So to divide a polynomial by a monomial, you'll divide each number in the term, so you'll divide the coefficients, right? And then for the exponents, the quotient rule says that a divided by b is the same as a minus b. So it's the opposite of multiplication. So remember, when you're multiplying exponents, you add them, right? So it's going to be x2 plus 1, so it's going to be x to the third. Right? You add the exponents when you multiply. So when you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Eight n squared minus 36n, two-term, quadratic, divided by 4n, single term, monomial, and linear, right? Because there's only an invisible one. Invisible ones. If there's no exponent, there's an invisible one after a variable, right? So the first thing you do in your mind, if it helps, picture these as separate, right? Break it in, because this goes with this and it goes with this. All right, so what I mean is, if you need to actually draw it out, right? So 8n squared divided by 4n minus 36n divided by 4n. 4n goes into both terms. If you need to draw it out like this, do it. Or you can leave it like this. So what you're going to do is divide the coefficients first. And this is n2 minus n1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So you're left with 1n. You have two n's. You subtract 1n. You're left with 1n. And then we have n. 36 divided by 4 is 9. n1 minus n1 is 0. They cancel. That's why they cancel each other out. You're left with 2n minus 9. And because they're not like terms, that's as far as you can go. All right, let's do another one, a little more complicated. All right, so if you want to leave them together, that's fine. If you want to write them separate, that's fine. We'll do it both ways really quick, right? So first, leave them together. Negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. X to the 12th divided by x to the 2 is x12 minus 2, which is x10, right? Right? You should be able to do this part in your head. If you need to write it out, write it out. All right, so x10, so that took care of that and that. y5 divided by y2, 5 minus 2 is 3. And that took care of that and that. I'm marking them out so that I know I did everything. Right? Now, I'm going to erase the bottom because I'm going to use it again. 7 divided by 7 is 1. You can put the invisible 1, but you don't have to. X squared minus x squared cancels out. Y squared minus y squared canceled out. So we're literally left with the invisible 1. That's it. Now, would the invisible 1 stay? It stays because there's nothing after it. So in this case, we actually had to draw the invisible 1. All right, let's work a couple of the odds. Remember how I said I was going to do it both ways, so I'm going to separate it out. 6x divided by 3 plus 9 divided by 3. Right, this is 2. X, because there's no x here to cancel it, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. right? But I could have done it from up here. 6 divided by 3 is 2. I'm left with an x, right? And then 9 divided by 3 is 3. Either way, I end up with 2x plus 3. And they can't be combined because they're not like terms. I'm going to do it without the extra step. Feel free to use the extra step if you need it, right? Let's make it a little bit. There's an invisible 1 here, there's an invisible 1 here, there's an invisible 1 here. All right, 8 divided by 1. 8 to the third divided by 8 to the first. 2 is 8 to the second. Negative 2 divided by 1. 8 to the second divided by 8 to the first. Do I need to put that 1? No. But it helps me keep things in order. 5 divided by 1. A divided by A. That's it. I can't simplify it any further. Because a squared, a to the first, no variable, those are not like terms. Nope. 18 divided by 3. C to the third divided by C to the first. C to the second. Negative 21. This is negative 21 divided by 3. C to the second divided by C to the first. 3 divided by 3. Any number over itself is 1. And these cancel. That's as far as you can go. Right there. Negative 20 divided by 5. X to the first. Minus 1. And that's it. Because these cancel out. They try to make it crazy. Don't let it confuse you. Negative 25 divided by 5. X to the fourth divided by x to the second. Y to the third divided by y to the first. 30 divided by 5 is a positive 6. Positive 6, if it's not separated by an operator, it's not right because this is going to end up being 2 terms. And if you don't put the operator, it's not 2 terms. Make sure there's a plus sign or a minus sign in between to make it 2 separate terms. X squared, y to the fifth divided by y to the first gives you y to the fourth. One piece at a time. Don't complicate the issue. 16 divided by 4. X6, x2 leaves you with x4. Negative 12 and 4 is negative 3. X4, x2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. X squared, bam, just like that. And it's in order. If it was out of order, you would have to put it in order. Put it in standard form. Alphabetical, highest exponent to lowest exponent. Don't forget the operator. Oh, look, this is going to make it interesting. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So you're going to have x to negative 2. I'll tell you what to do with it. Negative 15, negative 5, x to the negative 4. They did it twice. They want you to really think about this. To get rid of a negative exponent, flip it. Right? Look, x to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over x. x to the negative 5 is equal to 1 over x to the 5th. Flip it. Flip it to get rid of the negative. I literally flipped the equation. I literally flipped the term, right? So if I'm going to put this on the bottom and this on the bottom, my final answer is going to be negative 8x squared. And then on the bottom, I'm going to have 3x squared minus 5x to the 4th. Can that be simplified further? You bet your butt it can. Can't, it doesn't change the 8 and the 3, or the 8 and the 5, but x squared divided by x squared so now you have to rearrange it. Let me make sure I'm doing that right. Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm going to pause it and back it up a little bit. I'm one step wrong. That's alright. The dog is going to mess it up anyway. Alright. This is where we're starting it back. Alright, you're just going to flip, you have to flip it. The variable has a negative exponent, so you're going to move the variable. Alright, so now you have negative 8x squared plus 3 on top of x squared minus 5 on top of x to the 4th. And as crazy as it sounds, that's your answer. Because we had to flip these, and so that made them different. And they can't be combined because this is x squared and this is x to the 4th. They're not like terms. They're not like terms. So as crazy as it sounds, that is exactly where we end up. Hopefully they won't make us do that again. Oh, they do in 14. Let's do 14 together. All right, let's work our way through it. See if you can work ahead of me and see if you can get it. 5. X to the 1st, negative 5, x to the negative 1st, 1, x to the negative 2. Now remember, you're just flipping the part with the variable, right? So 5x stays the same, and then you're going to subtract 5 over x, and you're going to add the invisible 1 over x squared, right? You said, what invisible 1? I heard you. This one, right here. There's always an invisible 1 before a variable. That's perfect. 5x minus 5 over x plus 1 over x squared. I'm curious to know whether or not you got that without me. If you got that before me. Come and show me. No, never mind, it's too late. Because now I've shown you. Alright, let's see how crazy these get. Look how crazy. Yes, I can do that. Alright, this one is not as bad as the previous one. It looks worse because of all the variables. Just make sure you're paying attention to the variables. 28 divided by 4. x5, x2, y4, y2, z3, z2. Now you know why I put a little line through my z's. Because my z's and my 2's look a lot alike. In the end, I'm mostly confusing myself. So I'm trying to help myself. 8 divided by 4. x4, x2, y3, y2, z2, z2, Can't be combined. No negative exponents. I think that's where we end up. 7x cubed y squared z plus 2x squared y. Yep. Oh, this is fun. Alright, now they're going to combine the last two things we did. Okay? They're going to combine it. Don't panic. First, you're going to divide, which is going to give you 5 x to the first plus 2. And you're going to multiply that times 2x minus 1. So first you're going to divide, and then you're going to multiply, right? So remember, 5x times 2x, and you just learned that an x1 times an x1, you add the exponents. So this should be x squared. So 10 x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 2, right? 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Combine your like terms. So first you divide it, and then you multiply. Feel free to leave that 1 off. First you divided to simplify, and then you multiplied the answer by the binomial. I know. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay. That's a lot. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can distribute, then divide, and then see if there's any like terms. Or you can divide first, distribute what's left. Let's see how they did it. Oh, that's 18. I'm not even supposed to do that one. They distributed, and because this is negative, there's a negative 1 there, so they distributed all of this over here, and then they distributed the negative 1 over here, which changed all the signs, and then they combined their like terms, and then they divided. Oh yeah, you probably wanted me to do this one anyway. Alright, woo! Alright, so because multiplication on top here, you have to do that first. And then divide. Right? So distribute. This times this. The coefficients are all invisible ones, so you can ignore them because 1 times 1 is 1. Right? M squared times m squared is m to the 4th, 2 plus 2. N squared plus n squared is n to the 4th, because it's 2 plus 2. And then we're going to go over here. We have m to the 1st and n to the 1st. So we're going to have plus m to the 3rd, n to the 3rd. And then we have negative m to the 3rd, right, because it's 1, 1. N to the 3rd. These are going to cancel out. You see that? You see how they're inverse? They're opposite to each other. And then we have a negative m squared, n squared, because it's 1 times 1 plus 1. Alright, so let's combine our like terms. Nothing is the same as this. M4, N4. This cancels this. We're left with minus m squared, n squared. And then don't forget this. We want to divide that. If it helps you, write them separately. Write them separately. Right? Divided by mn, divided by mn. That way you'll remember to do both. Right? Invisible ones. Bam, 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 bam. So, 4 minus 1, m to the 3rd. 4 minus 1, n to the 3rd. Minus 2 minus 1, m to the 1st. 2 minus 1, n to the 1st, can't be combined because they're not like terms. That's it. That's your answer. Let's see if we're right. We are! I know it's wild. The best way to make it through something like this is one step at a time. Don't look at the big picture. I think that's all of them. It is... I can't wait to see if you can figure out 18.